There is something deeply unsettling about being alive. Not the dramatic kind of suffering people like to talk about. Not tragedy, not loss, but the quiet, constant feeling that something is off. You wake up. You follow routines. You speak to people. You perform the expected gestures of being human. And yet there is a distance between you and everything else. It is as if you were placed into a role you never auditioned for, given a script you do not remember agreeing to, and everyone around you seems to be reading their lines with confidence, while you hesitate. You look at them and wonder, do they feel this too, or is it just you? But no one says it. No one breaks character, so you assume the silence means certainty, and you begin to suspect that the problem is you. You try to fix it. You try to become more like them, more certain, more stable, more real. But the harder you try, the more artificial it feels. Because the truth is not that you are failing at life. The truth is that life itself feels like something you were never meant to fully understand. There is a structure to everything. Invisible rules, unspoken expectations, endless systems. You are told, work hard, be disciplined, create meaning, but no one explains why any of it should matter. And if you ask too many questions, you are seen as difficult. So you learn to stop asking. You participate, you comply, you move forward without conviction. There is a peculiar cruelty in this, not because life is actively hostile, but because it is indifferent. You can struggle, you can suffer, you can question everything, and the world continues unchanged. No explanation, no clarity, no resolution. And yet, you are still expected to function, to wake up, to contribute, to behave as though it all makes sense. There is a quiet absurdity in this, a kind of silent agreement that no one fully believes in what they are doing, but everyone continues anyway. You begin to notice it in small moments, in conversations that feel rehearsed, in ambitions that feel borrowed, in goals that seem important until you stop and examine them. And when you do, they begin to dissolve. What once felt solid reveals itself to be fragile, constructed, temporary. Even your identity feels uncertain. Who are you when you remove expectations, when you stop performing, when you are not trying to become something? The answer is not clear. And that is what disturbs you, because you were taught to believe that clarity would come, that meaning would reveal itself, that everything would eventually make sense. But it does not. Instead, you are left with fragments, moments of awareness, brief flashes of understanding, followed by long stretches of confusion. And still you continue, not because you have found the answer, but because there is no alternative. You move through life like someone navigating a maze without knowing if there is an exit. Sometimes you feel hope, a sudden belief that something will change, that meaning will arrive, that clarity is just around the corner, but it fades, and you return to the same questions. Why am I here? What is this for? Does any of this matter? These questions do not have satisfying answers, only temporary distractions. You learn to fill your time, work, entertainment, ambition, relationships, not necessarily because they solve anything, but because they prevent you from thinking too deeply. Because when you do think deeply, you begin to see the structure beneath everything. And once you see it, it becomes difficult to unsee. You realize how much of life is repetition, how much of it is imitation, how much of it is driven by fear. Fear of being nothing, fear of being alone, fear of facing the silence beneath all the noise. So you keep moving, keep doing, keep distracting yourself. And yet in quiet moments it returns. That feeling, that distance, that quiet realization that you are part of something you do not understand, and perhaps never will. There is no comforting conclusion here, no grand realization, no final clarity, only this. You are here, you are aware, and you are asking questions most people avoid. That does not make life easier, but it makes it honest. And sometimes, honesty is the only thing that feels real, even if it offers no comfort, even if it leaves you standing alone in a world that continues as if nothing is wrong.